YouTube has been giving me trouble and the authorities to some extent as well. There will be certain adjustments to the channel too. A video is linked in the description if you'd like extra details. If you've already seen it or aren't interested, that's completely fine. Move forward into the story. Grade. Written by Fontaine. That cannot be. After the first officer arrived, the captain kept staring at the pirate remains and the fluids around. Apparently it had happened. First officer confirmed. I wonder what price I'll pay for this. She studied the scene a moment longer. And how in the world? She gestured at the wreckage. Of course she already knew, but how? Engineer Dave. 1 hour earlier, the captain pressed the comm unit, breathing hard. They're faster. Me. I'll never make it to the bridge. It's okay, Captain. Look to your right, open. That vent. I'm too big to crawl inside. No, you don't climb in. In fact, don't do anything except what I say. Open it. Open. Far down the passage came a clang. And echoing voices. Dozens of them. Small panel. Enter 911. 911. The plate. Shifted. Now you'll see a button and 3 switches. Hit the button. She pressed. A green glow lit. The voices grew. Louder, doors being forced one by one. Had maybe 2 minutes. Excellent. The first switch is already on. When the ball outside drops into the slot, flip that switch. When they recover and press forward again, flip the second, then switch the first back. Keep alternating as needed. Engineer Dave hesitated. If nothing else works, flip the third. Only if nothing else works. Captain eyed the third switch uneasily but chose not to question it. Now she motioned toward the pirate mush. Impossible. These are civilian grab plates. Their safety and smoothness features cannot be bypassed. Engineer Dave smirked. Little engineering truth. There's no such thing as a civilian grab plate. The override pins sit beneath less than a millimeter of thermal paste. Thought those were calibration plugs. Dave grinned a bit too. Wait, same thing. But why? Standard design. Most of the expense in a military grab plate is the hardening detection block and denial systems plus a separate control unit. You wouldn't want a hacker pulling. Well, this. He waved at the carnage. Oh, and we'll need to buy at least 2 new plates at the next repair yard. 2. Can you tell? Rule of thumb. With this corridor, failure rate averages 8% with 5% variance. Small chance only 4 plates are. I've got 2 spares already gone out. Respect. They'll need recalibration, which isn't safe on a moving ship. I'll need to go through this entire corridor plate by plate. Not these for the logs. She inhaled slowly. That's an engineer's matter, isn't it? Yes, ma'am. All right, let's recover the gear. We should break even. Hardly. What? It's just recalibration. That rifle there, cleaned up, pays for one. Standard recalibration. With 12 weapons salvaged, we're covered. Everything else is top-grade equipment. Should I even ask? Better not. Then why would 12 guns only cover 4 recalibrations? Well, no one will reset a plate that's actually broken. But most are probably intact. There are 3 recalibration levels. First, intact. Plugs and no damage, that's standard. Second, plugs removed with no damage, that's extra. Dave's mouth curled in a strange way. The last. The captain raised a hand. It's called a human touch this. Exactly. She thought, then looked down the. Since you'll be busy, I'll assign someone else to clean this. Thank you. Does Ensign Stabby have a suction unit? She regretted the question instantly. Dave's eyes glimmered too brightly. Not yet. She sighed. Still, the raid left them in profit. Make it so. End of story. Story number 2. Humans and Magic written by Average Cake Enjoyer. Humans wield magic. Truly, not the sort that makes objects levitate or fire appear from air. They cannot read minds, twist time, or call back the dead. No, their power is making the impossible somehow probable. I saw it first while serving my king on the battlefield. Human squad. Surrounded, ammunition spent, enemy lines closing. By every measure they were finished. But humans don't respect calculations. Their leader, bleeding yet smiling, simply said, "Watch this." And they lived. Bloodied, bruised, but alive. I saw a rookie pilot spin a broken craft into a dance of angles no chart could predict, sliding through plasma fire like she'd been born for it. When our analysts replayed her maneuvers, the numbers called it impossible. The ship should have broken apart. She only shrugged, calling it instinct. First I thought it was just battle, just desperation, some odd quirk of their nature letting them dodge death once in a while. But then I left the war, and still I saw it. Humans don't simply survive, they transform the world around. Where others see walls, they carve doors. I've watched them breathe life into dead worlds, places long abandoned as lost planets where soil poisons the hand and faint suns can barely cast shadows. They endure as they always do. They press their fingers into toxic earth, scattering seeds like quiet prayers, and somehow the ground listens. They guard their fragile sprouts with scarred hands and fierce resolve, pulling life from dirt that should stay barren. They raise greenhouses from wreckage, rigging filters that should never function yet somehow do. It's in every part of their lives. If you ever walked a human city, by every standard they should collapse under their weight. Too many people crammed too close, all driven by clashing desires and dreams. They don't build like circuits, every piece placed for balance and order. No, they build wildly, as if stitching their imagination into stone and glass. I've seen their cities breathe like living organisms. Between their towers, new life erupts without permission. A decaying wall becomes a mural of color. An abandoned factory turns into a hall of music and motion. Their markets sprout in empty lots overnight, as if called by the shared wish of a neighborhood. By all logic, such places should collapse into conflict. Instead they surge with a rhythm I cannot explain. Communities form themselves in the oddest corners, beneath rattling railways, in the shadows of ancient ruins, in forgotten cracks between the planned and proper. They forge belonging from nothing, inviting anyone to join, to share, to feel wanted. How could we resist? First we tried. We truly did. We sent our sharpest minds to dissect their habits, to reduce this impossible force into data, to prove it was luck or mere genetics. But you cannot quantify wonder. You cannot measure how a human smile convinces you that you belong, even when you're galaxies away from home. You cannot chart how a pat on the back and a confident grin makes you believe you can succeed, that you can do the impossible. I recall watching a human trader working with a cautious apprentice on a shattered engine core, one deemed beyond repair. By every measure it was finished. But the human kept speaking, encouraging, urging. "Come on," she said. "Let's try one more thing." And the apprentice, against all their careful instincts, against the voice warning them to quit, tried again and again and again. Each attempt grew steadier until they began echoing that strange human stubbornness. And when the engine roared back to life, the look on the apprentice's face wasn't just victory, it was awakening. That's when I started to grasp it, to see the thread tying all these moments together. It wasn't only that humans defied the impossible. It wasn't merely their grit or their defiance of odds. Was how that spark spilled outward like light from a cracked door. Those near them start believing too, start attempting things they would never dare. Humans don't see it. How could they? They're too busy living, chasing visions only they can imagine. But we see it. Every species that works beside them slowly begins to carry the same magic. Not as strong, not as steady, but present. Humans are changing us quietly, subtly. They're teaching us to dream higher, to reach further, not through plans or commands, but simply by existing, by refusing to bow to the word impossible. Perhaps that is their true magic. Not only to survive, but to teach the rest of us how to surpass our own limits. Only hope. They never lose it, their strange gift. Universe needs their unique brand of impossible, even if they themselves never realize they're casting it. End of story. I'd like to thank our Tier 5 supporters and patrons: Casper, Arnholz, John R. Croton, Vori050, Drag Zoom, WRE, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.